Hello, beautiful people. Today we're going to talk about how to become a thought leader and advance your career. Have you ever wondered why some people's ideas gain traction while other people struggle to be heard? What if the key to advancing your career wasn't working harder, but was a matter of positioning yourself in your field? What if becoming a thought leader wasn't just about being an expert, but was about being known for knowing something really valuable in your field? In this video, I'd like to talk about 5 essential steps that will help you become a thought leader, position yourself as a thought leader, and that will lead to advancement and success in your career. So this is another one of these questions that I absolutely love, and I'm delighted you asked. And the reason is that I'm on the faculty of a small business school in Australia for thought leaders. And I've gone through the curriculum myself, and I've positioned myself as a thought leader, and I absolutely love what I do, and I'm totally happy to recommend it to anyone who's interested to listen. The thing to remember is becoming a thought leader takes time, patience, and persistence. It's a process. So think of it like getting a degree. Think of it like becoming known for adding valuable contribution over a long period of time. Becoming a thought leader can take you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years if you're really interested in honing your knowledge and your thought leadership and really becoming known for something. The other thing to remember is you need to be patient with yourself. It takes time to really figure out what your thought leadership is about. It's not for the faint-hearted. So the 5 steps. Step number 1 is becoming known as a thought leader in a particular area. Matt Church is one of my mentors and is the founder of the Thought Leaders Business School in Australia. He talks about this really effectively in his book, The Thought Leaders Practice, in his expert to authority model. If you're an expert, you're known for something. If you're an authority, you're known for knowing something. It's a subtle but very important difference because as a thought leader, you are contributing to a body of work that is growing and evolving over time. You are not looking to position yourself as purely an expert. If I'm an expert, I could be an expert in something, but I'm an expert in everything that's happened up to now. That doesn't necessarily make me a thought leader in things that are likely to happen going forward. The shift between an expert and a thought leader happens when you deeply understand how you add value to other people. And those people begin to recognize how you add value for them, and they begin to recognize how your thinking is helping them learn and grow. Step number 2 is to really narrow your focus. It took me about 2 years to figure this one out. Is when you start off wanting to be a thought leader, you look at all the things that you know and how great you are at all of those things. And what you fail to recognize is that there are 8 billion people on the planet, and you are probably great at the smallest, tiniest little bit of human knowledge where you can actually contribute and add value. I refer to it as the tiny nub of nothingness. There is nothing more humbling than going and figuring out what your tiny nub of nothingness is and actually being honest about that is the value that you are bringing to the world. So for me, when I went through this process, I had a background in science, a background in engineering, I had worked in tech, I had been a CIO, I had been a CISO, I had led teams, I had done work all over the world, and my tiny nub of nothingness really came down to helping people understand how thinking differently about work could drive innovation. It's fantastic when you're able to say it that simply, but it's also very humbling to get yourself there. So step number 2 is understanding what your tiny nub of nothingness really is. Once you get a handle on your tiny nub of nothingness, this is your foundation. You don't necessarily have to stick with that for the rest of your career, but it is what you will begin to get traction with. Over the years, I have moved my thought leadership and advanced on it and built on it into areas such as gender balance for driving innovation, into next level leaders for building innovation leadership capacity inside companies, into executable strategy for helping companies put together strategies around how they build more innovative capacity, and this more recent one, which is my Get Promoted program, which is helping 1 million women get promoted. So you can see that you can start off with something small and your thought leadership can grow and evolve over time. And in your industry, you can get known for what it is that you do in terms of the value that you bring. The other thing that's important as you think about your thought leadership is obsess about systems that will set you free. If you're interested in thought leadership, the chances are that your appetite for learning is bigger than your ability to be able to manage all the operational aspects of your business. And that will be your Achilles heel. Even though you're building a thought leadership practice, or you're building a thought leadership practice inside a company, it's absolutely essential for you to understand the systems that are going to support you. So if you're trying to build thought leadership, say, inside your own organization, and that is an absolutely fantastic and valid way to do it, and kudos to you, make sure that you are paying obsessive attention to the systems that are going to support you in doing it. You're not going to magically arise as a thought leader tomorrow without support systems and practices that are going to actually help you grow and sustain that over time. Matt Schertz makes a nice distinction here between a practice and a business. And he claims that if you don't have this obsession about your systems, you will end up working in your business all of the time instead of working on your business. Another must-read book in this area is The E-Myth, which is the entrepreneurial myth by Michael Gerber. Michael Gerber published The E-Myth Revisited, I think it was 1995, and that's an absolute must-read if you are interested in building a thought leadership practice for yourself, either as an independent person or internally inside your company. Step number 4 is to recognize the difference between thought leadership as an independent person and thought leadership inside your company. Distinguish for yourself whether or not you're using thought leadership to build a career for yourself inside your company, or whether you're using it to build your own practice outside of a company. If you want to be recognized as a thought leader inside your company, then what you're doing is you're promoting the innovation and thought leadership that's coming out of your company. And you are the go-to person for conversations and stories around customer success, around value add, around innovative solutions, around long-term global impact partnerships. So you want to position yourself as someone who is leading up one of those initiatives and who is observing what's going on, learning from what's going on, writing about what's going on, and positioning yourself as the go-to person for your company to put out on public stages, to go to conferences, to lead discussion sessions, or to be able to do speeches. Many businesses, particularly professional services or technical engineering businesses, absolutely love having a spokesperson of sorts who can be a thought leader for them in terms of positioning them on the global stage or on the national stage, and making sure that the people in their industry understand the value that company is bringing to market. So you could become the spokesperson for your company in that way. In addition to being a spokesperson, you can also be the person who's driving some of these innovations and transformations inside your company, and as such you are developing a level of thought leadership. Make sure that as you do these, that you are mapping out the arc of the evolution of that thought leadership, and that you have systems inside your company to support you in doing that. Building your identity as a thought leader will absolutely accelerate your career. You become known as a person who is known for knowing something, and you also become known as a spokesperson for your company, and you also become known as a very effective driver of change, designer of change, and contributor to innovation. Step number 5 is make sure that you make a strategic commitment to your thought leadership. This is a long game. It takes years to build an identity. Even with today's social media, it still takes years to build an identity and really get known for offering something solid, contributing real value, and changing people's lives for the better. The good news about all of this is that once you're established, your thought leadership will take you to places you couldn't possibly even imagine right now. Great places, exciting places, interesting places, conversations with people you would never have imagined. The long game is stay the course. Keep honing and refining your message. Keep talking to other thought leaders who've been through the process, and keep making sure that you have the support systems behind you to allow you to be able to do thought leadership and not spend your entire life working in your business. One of the things that I found is super useful as you start thinking about these bigger questions is to see the impact that they're likely to have on your long-term career. I have a free assessment for you. It's my promotion readiness assessment. There's a link to it down below in the comments. It's www.getpromotedassessment.com. What it'll do is it will ask you questions that are about getting promoted, but what you can use it for is you can use it to see what the impact of becoming a thought leader would actually have on your promotion and your career path going forward. It provokes some thought that will help you with this process. I wish you the best of luck, and let me know if you become a thought leader in your area. I want to hear about it.